We're going to talk about a couple more defensive line prospects to keep an eye on. Got to talk through Oklahoma's quarterback controversy in the 2026 class as well with Brian Smith of the Portal. We'll do that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks again for making Locked On Sooners and the Portal your first listens every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Brian, we've been talking defensive line. I want to talk about another defensive line prospect here, Jake Krell, the really talented prospect that I don't think people are aware enough of yet in the national circles or Oklahoma circles, but this is a dude that has the potential to be really, really good.
Another IMG guy. He's from Orlando originally, and I remember the first time I saw him, it was Orlando again for the Under Armour term, but he was a freshman and nobody really knew much about him, but he went out there and he was one of the best pass rushers there was. And the politics of it, he did end up getting like the All-Star and all that stuff because they're not going to do that because it politically won't go well, but he was really good then, but he was like 205 or something like that. He's 235-ish now, 6'2", 6'3". 235, and he's got every school in the country coming after him. And every time I talk to Jake, he's very nice. He's very open-ended, smart kid, but he just loves working technique. He went to the event, like they do this is crazy. Under Armour goes to IMG for its own Under Armour event just for IMG. That's how many kids they have. After that, they didn't do one-on-ones there. So he went to Miami to do one-on-ones. This is after he had 35, 40 offers. And he went to Miami and he had the best performance I've ever seen a defensive lineman have at any Under Armour event ever. I lost track of what his record. He did not lose a rep. In one-on-ones, he took every rep. He was taking reps from guys, ghost move, spin move, two-hand swipe, up and under, dip, like everything that you could imagine. He has a bag that he can go into that's deeper than any high school player that I've ever seen. Now, he's not as physically gifted. It's like Stone or somebody like that played at IMG. And he's pretty technical, but he's not on the – if Stone had what he did, he would be the best defensive player in college football this year because like Stone's so physically gifted. But Jake eats people alive with his brain. Like he gets in their head because you go 2 reps against a guy, he would beat them so bad on the first rep, they'd be crapping their pants. And on the second one, he would do something totally counter to that, and they would just get off balance. He'd make 310-pound guys look weak. It was so weird to watch, and he just loved it. He just loved it. So that kid is going to go play somewhere. I don't know if it's Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, wherever. His list is through the roof. But I know Oklahoma is always one of the schools he mentioned a lot to me. I've talked to him 20 times. Great kid, and Oklahoma's scheme would fit him really well because they do so many things multiple with Venables. He could be your stand-up guy in a 3-3 look. He could be just a traditional 4-down defensive end in a wide 7 or wide 9. And he's athletic enough to at least cover some. He's not just, an ogre that see ball, kill ball. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that's got the brain to figure it out and drop and fire zone, which Venables obviously likes to do. Yeah. So from a schematic standpoint, Jake would be a great fit for the Sooners.
And we know that for me, I like comparisons mainly because it gives people an idea of where potential could go when it comes to these players. Who's someone that you see out of Jake that Jake could end up being down the line if he continued to develop at the pace that he's developing right now?
There's so many. Think of the crazy white guys with long hair in the NFL that always play outside linebacker. That's who he is.
Oh,
he's just outside linebacker. Hair. He's like in a 3-4, that kind of guy. That outside stand-up linebacker. Who was the guy? He played at USC, then played for the Packers for a long time.
Clay Matthews.
Yep, that's who he reminds me of.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he has the speed to be able to run it out there at the linebacker spot.
Like if you're going to primarily rush, like Matthews rushed 93% of the time.
Fair,
like,
yeah.
Every team has a different name for it, but that rush spot, and then occasionally fire zone with it because he's smart and he said, like, I don't want him man-to-man on your speedy running back. Don't get me wrong.
Fair.
But he can cover the zone and handle it. Like if you're going fire zone, you better get pressure. It's going to go bad. So that's something that he could do. But, yeah, that kind of nutty, I'm just going downhill 100-mile-an-hour guy, 100%.
Sounds just like a Brent Venables guy to me. I mean, Brent Venables is 100 miles an hour and kind of nutty.
That is also maybe that's why they get along.
Yeah.
They see
sometimes it's just about fit, and personality fit goes a long way too. What about a guy like Tayton Carrington? Because that's a dude that's, getting a lot of buzz. There's a lot of hype around him as well. What do you see with a kid like that?
Well, I mean, if you look at all the different things that, like, you just brought up a really good point. Fit. How many different teams would he how many schemes would he fit into? And like football today, man, how do I put this? Some teams don't move guys around. Like Oklahoma's scheme's probably a lot harder, I would imagine. But that's also another reason it's impressive what Jaden Jackson did last year. But like, how would they use him? Would they play him in? Would they bulk him up? Would he move inside? Things like that. I don't know for sure because I'm never really sure what Venables is trying to do, which is kind of fun in a way. But like kids like him have the potential based on their frame to end up playing down, playing inside, playing outside. Maybe it's a situation where they would look at it, just let it develop naturally. But my guess is Venables has done this long enough, and that staff too, that they would probably have a projection like a player to compare him to. And they don't miss very often on those. Think about how many kids they had at like Clemson that were 3-star guys. They had some P4 offers and stuff, but like as a redshirt sophomore, okay, that kid was 230, 240, 245 when he came in. Now he's 288. But he's kept the same speed and all that. Like they figure out the best way to do it. So my guess is he's a long-term projection guy. I don't know. Like, I don't know him on a personal, like these other guys I've been around. I don't know that kid on a personal level, but when it comes to defensive players and stuff, I'm not going to really mess with what Venables is trying to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what we come back to a lot of times is like if Venables is offering a dude or Todd Bates or Miguel Chavis or Brandon Hall are offering guys, and you can pretty well trust that they're going to be pretty good players.
Yeah, and it may not be for everybody. Like every scheme is different. Like, that's the thing. That kid, I don't think he's going to play in Georgia's scheme. Like Georgia wouldn't offer that kid. Like the measurable thing doesn't work for them. They're really picky. Like they'll not offer a kid over a half inch, and I'm not kidding. Like it is that specific. It's not as big a deal in Oklahoma's scheme because they want penetration. They're not trying to two-gap. They're not trying to play two-level. They're trying to play annihilate. It's much more high risk, but you got to have speed over size in OU's type of defense, and that's what they're going for.
Yeah, unless you can find a guy that has speed and size, which, we saw Venables do with like a player like an Isaiah Simmons is one that just comes out of nowhere. I love mentioning him. It's because it's nuts that you throw him anywhere on the field and quarterbacks are looking for him. Where is he? Oh, God,
yeah, he played all three levels. He's the only guy I can remember at the major level in the last decade that literally in a game played all three. I've never seen that before. I'm sure Venables would love to find one of those to bring to Norman, but I don't know if we're going to see anybody like that anytime soon.
Hopefully Kendall Daniels gives us that. He is 6'5", 260 pounds, and he runs like a gazelle. So we'll see. Maybe one day.
He is quite the athlete.
All right, we're going to talk quarterbacks coming up next. Also, we're going to ask Brian, what's the scheduling aspect of Oklahoma's schedule that might intrigue him the most? We'll do that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.